Welcome to Creating Flow, the podcast where I, Joni Francisco, hope to empower women, helpers, and healers to unblock their energy and unlock their power. We are tackling that tough reality that many in the healthcare professions often sacrifice their well-being in the pursuit of helping others. Not only do I think this is just plain wrong, it ends up diminishing their vitality and diminishing their ability to serve. I've experienced this struggle firsthand, and I have emerged with the insights and strategies to break this cycle. That's why each week we explore the practical methods not only to replenish your energy, but also to cultivate an abundance in your life. You'll gain actionable steps to fill your cup first, ensuring you can overflow with energy and serve others without burning out. You know what they say about karma, right? What if I told you it wasn't a bitch and that you can leverage it in your favor? What if I also told you the law of cause and effect is also known as the law of karma? But before we dive into the law of cause and effect, I invite you to download your cheat sheet on universal law in the Abundance and Flow community on Skool. You will also find on there other free, awesome AF trainings where we are building a community of other helpers and healers ready to have more abundance and flow in their life. Let's journey together towards freedom in life, health, and business. The link to join us is in the show notes. I hope to see you there. Right, so now on to the goods. The law of cause and effect. It states that every action, thought, or intention generates a corresponding reaction. This is often referred to as the law of karma. It means that every action, whether negative or positive, creates a consequence and effect in our lives. In fact, karma literally means action. We often think of karma as negative, but it really holds no judgment. It's neither good nor bad. It's neither negative nor positive. It simply produces a corresponding effect. And if we can approach it without judgment, we can use it as a litmus test or a feedback mechanism to reflect on what we're putting out into the world, the cause, and what we're receiving in return, the effect. This is the way the universe uses to curate balance in an effort to ensure divine order. Helping us to understand this further is the law of mentalism, which explains the thoughts are first cause, also known as the law of thinking, and the law of correspondence, which tells us that events in the physical world are reflections of our mental and spiritual thoughts. The law of polarity adds that if we desire an opposite effect, it is always available. So when I think of the law of cause and effect, I feel excited because it reminds me that we can change our effect. We have control of our outcome. We can move from powerless to creators or co-creators. And this is where we learn that we are not merely acted upon by external forces. We are the force. We also get to change our actions or our causes to create different effects. Are there areas in your life where you would like a different effect? Or perhaps you want more of something you already have? Let's clarify what we mean by effect. Effect encompasses everything we see around us in our world. For instance, you may felt joy after spending time with your friends, and you want more of that. Or perhaps you're experiencing stress in your business and you want less of it. Or maybe you're low on energy and you're teetering on burnout and you're seeking more vitality. Well, I firmly believe that whatever we desire is available to us. And this is where we can leverage the law of cause and effect to get what we want. By putting new causes into the universe, we receive new effects. Well, how do we do this? Well, I'm going to take you through a 4-step strategy to help you get what you want. The first being taking 100% responsibility. To do this, you will need to begin to take full responsibility for your current situation or circumstances. And while at first this might be a tough pill to swallow, the principle of causality reminds us that nothing happens by chance. Every cause has an effect or an outcome. And there is a growth edge here for most of us. But if you can hold that you are 100% responsible for where you are now, This will invite you to step into the role of the creator or the co-creator rather than the victim. And if you want more information, background on the victim versus creator mindset, you can refer to the previous episode I did on this, on the empowerment and the victim triangle, and that'll be linked in the show notes as well. So do you think you can take responsibility for those things you think are because of someone else? So when we take 100% responsibility, we don't just get to take responsibility for the things that are positive or as we perceive as positive in our lives. We also have to accept that the things that are negative that are coming up for us are also our responsibility. And it has always been our responsibility. So all of the things that have happened previous to this point, we are responsible for as well. And here's where you employ that forgiveness or that the adage that it couldn't have been different in the past because it wasn't. And you let yourself off the hook and you just move forward knowing that now you get the opportunity to take 100% responsibility for your life. And you get to change the causes you're putting in so that you can have different effects. Sometimes we've got to let go of stuff that happened in the past so that we can move forward into a future that we want. And this doesn't invalidate our experiences or emotions that we've had up to this point, but it just lets us move forward with freedom in perceiving it in a different way. So be compassionate and have some empathy with your previous self, knowing that you only knew what you knew then, and now you know more. So you can now take 100% responsibility. And that leads me to the next strategy, which is making conscious choices. And again, this is owning that responsibility and the outcome of your choice. So you have the power of free will, but your choices or lack thereof impact your energy, your health, your business, and your relationships. So let's talk about avoiding decisions. Many people avoid making choices to sidestep responsibility or the consequences. So again, this is where we add on taking that 100% responsibility. Have any of you ever experienced that paralysis by analysis or analysis paralysis? Yeah, it gets a lot of us stuck because we were looking at all of the options, all of the outcomes, all of the things that came before, all of the things that come in the future, and we just get stuck. It's almost impossible to make a choice. But being in that place of not making a choice is actually a choice itself. So recognizing this will change your life. Make choices, make decisions. Learning to make these decisions quickly and trusting that you are supported and knowing that you can pivot if needed. This allows you to reclaim your power. The key here, as I alluded to in the 100% responsibility again, is release judgment. There's no wrong or right choice, only a choice. Try making decisions from that place of love, joy, pleasure, desire, rather than fear, ego, or survival. This raises your vibration and enhances your attraction and alignment with what you desire. And this can be a little tricky for people to make these decisions and be in that place of being a co-creator and surrendering to get the help of the universe and source to play out your dream. And by choosing what you want, you get to help the universe make that happen. And so we are able to put in a cause that is in alignment with what we want and alignment with our values, etc., to produce an effect which is in our highest good and which is in alignment with what we desire. The next strategy is bringing the unconscious to the conscious awareness. As we're living in this current culture, some of us are trying to escape some of the mainstream ideology. However, we're often operate on autopilot. And we're following this imprinted programming, these limiting beliefs, and this ingrained mental habits. These unconscious thoughts and beliefs, they drive our actions, and whether we realize it or not. Actions rooted in ego and fear often produce negative effects. And by bringing these patterns, these subconscious patterns into our conscious awareness, we can create positive actions and outcomes by changing the belief and the thought that has created the pattern. So I talk about the love bubble. This might be a time to put that on because, like taking 100% responsibility, even for the things that we're deeming negative, suffering is also self-inflicted by our unconscious thought patterns. Let that sink in a minute. Suffering is often self-inflicted by our unconscious thought patterns. But when we bring these patterns into awareness, we can break the cycle and create intentional and desired effects. A crucial strategy here, again, is forgiveness and forgiving ourselves and others for past thoughts and beliefs and reconnecting that with that truth that we are love, perfection, worthy of our dreams, worthy of having the things that we want, worthy of our life looking the way we want it to, worthy of being able to have abundance in all areas, worthy of being able to have peace and calm instead of stress as we move through life. Changing the story that we tell ourselves, so correcting that subconscious belief, allows us to think differently, believe differently, and act differently. And the fourth strategy is using repetition to reinforce new beliefs. So, as we're talking about before, we're talking about developing the new thoughts and beliefs that are going to lead to new causes, that are going to lead to new action. So we're going to have a new cause and a new action, and we're going to have a new effect. And when we develop these new thoughts and beliefs, they require constant spaced repetition. And what does this mean? This just means that you do it over and over and over and over again until it sticks, until it's your primary thought. And we're going to develop these new thoughts and beliefs and remind yourself of the new belief, the thought, and action daily in as many moments as you can. And this repetition, it'll help you leverage the law of momentum. So we're going to create a cycle where a new effect invokes a new cause, which in turn invokes another new effect. So you get to move faster through this process the more you do it. This will show up in your life as synchronicities and serendipities that will propel you faster toward the life you desire. So where in your life are you desiring a different effect? Here's the kicker. The law of cause and effect is working in the background, just like many of the other universal laws, whether you understand it or you leverage it. It operates based on your thoughts and beliefs. And my question for you is, what beliefs or stories are keeping you in a cycle of unwanted effects? And the next question is, what effect do you want? To help you integrate this information, I've created a worksheet in my Skool community, the Abundance and Flow community in Skool. And the link will be right here in the show notes. So you can go download that worksheet and fill it out and use it to leverage the law of cause and effect to create the life you desire. Whether that's more energy, better health, increased income, stronger relationships, more clients, or greater joy and pleasure, by putting new causes into play, you can achieve new effects in your life. So honestly, I've said this before, and you'll catch it in many of my other rants and raves, but applying the principles of universal law really opened the door to a new way of thinking for me. It allowed me to show up in my life and my business in a different way. By expanding my thoughts and what I believe to be true, it also opened space to see what else was available to me. And I believe this is true for each of you. And that is why I continue to explore and study on how being connected spiritually helps us to heal our bodies, our business, and our lives, including our relationships. And that I bring to you each week, to my clients and to you, the listeners. So to those of you listening, I truly appreciate you spending this time with me, and I am cheering you on as you take action in reclaiming your energy. I hope you tune in next week as we explore the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. And as always, much love and light to you. Until next time.
So amazing. You've reached the end of another episode of Creating Flow, and I want you to know I appreciate your presence and to remind you knowledge is powerful, but taking action is transformative. I invite you to take the next step to activate your full potential today by scheduling a complimentary 15-minute session with me, a no-obligation chat to identify the messages your body is sending you and how I can not only help you understand these messages, but teach you how to heal your body in order to have an abundance of health and energy in your life and business. Visit the link in the show notes to book a call, and I'll see you next week.